Welcome to Women in Nebraska. I'm Shauna Dorsey here with my co-host.
Janae Lynn.
Oh, wait, aren't you supposed to say I'm here with somebody?
What?
Wait, what?
Oh, this
How
is funny.
often should I
This is the
look
best
at the
part
thing?
because this is the unedited part.
It is.
Yeah, and I'm here
Okay.
we're here together with welcome. Good.
Like where everyone says their own name. Yeah.
There, perfect.
It's really how we do this.
And I'm Mandy Kubicek.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
Okay. So 10-minute podcasts. We do not edit.
Nope.
Obviously, this is going to just be what it is. And we just are here to learn more about you, what you're passionate about and what you have going on and to help celebrate you. So that's what we're here to do today.
Yes.
Yay.
So let's start with, tell us about yourself and what you're working on, what you're passionate about, and we'll take it from there.
Lovely. Okay. I'll start by saying I'm a very curious person, intentional, very playful. So things I like to do are learning. I'm taking this really cool online culinary program right now it's called the School of Natural Cookery out of Boulder. That's super fun. I love writing. We will definitely talk more about my book, which is coming out soon. I love animals. I've been hanging out. I just started hanging out at Urban Acres. Have you guys heard of this place?
Where is that?
Oh my gosh. It is a horse sanctuary in the heart of North Omaha.
Okay.
It is like in the city, 2 acres, 10 horses, a cat.
Cool.
And they do this thing on weekends, hug a horse, where it's like $5 and you can just go hang out with the animals.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. We
That's
should take some mics out there and just do Women in Nebraska at Urban Acres.
That's nice. Yeah.
Maybe.
Go on the
Okay.
road. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds amazing though. Okay. Cool.
And okay, so professionally, sort of between gigs, most of my 17-year career has been software, doing things like leading product management teams. Also have had my own, I've done coaching and consulting under my business coach Kubicek. Then I went back for a minute to the tech startup world, very fast paced. Ended up, after several rounds, I did get laid off this summer. So now switching probably more into consulting. So I'm jazzed up about like the difference between coaching and consulting is I don't have any of the answers. You have the answers. I'm helping you get to what you want in life. And that was perfect for back then. I was helping mostly high achievers like their job more, whether that was tweaking how they were showing up or completely figuring out what they want to do and changing careers, which was really fun. With consulting, I can bring my domain expertise and it's a little bit of that advice too. Like, okay, I'm seeing that the sales and marketing team is trying to sell to this group of people and the product and engineering team is trying to build for this other slightly different group of people. We're not going to make as much money as we could if we just brought these things together.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm up to.
And I think that's such a unique skill set too, especially in like, I know you use the product example, but just knowing so much about product teams and SaaS companies, that's such a unique skill set to be able to go in and do for organizations like that are on that way to, I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. And it's like, cause I've been the individual contributor who's been like, I don't have a clear strategy. I can't do my job. I've been the department head who's like, this strategy is so clear in my head. How are they not doing what I think they should be doing? And then I've been the coach, unbiased outside, just sort of observing it.
Yeah.
So as I've just gotten more passionate about it when I've seen how it feels like there are simple tweaks that could be made to make everybody more effective and bought in and productive, which just means creating more value for the people that we're trying to serve. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. What are you seeing as far as differences in those 3 distinct industries? Like I can see some of the differences. What are some of the similarities of like working for a company, doing coaching individually with folks, then looking at consulting where then you're working with a business again as your customer? Like where are you seeing some of those ties there?
I would say the biggest similarities are in like how I show up, the strengths I bring. One of my favorite, I'm a nerd about like personality assessments and stuff. One of my favorites is Spark Type, which calls me an essentialist, which really speaks to me. It's like saying the work that lights me up, whether I'm paid or not, is bringing clarity to chaos. It's like seeing the mess and just organizing it. And I've loved that since I was a little girl. Like I was reading through my baby book recently and my mom had made a note when I was like 4 or something about tidying up my toys. And I'm like, yes, tidying up toys, information, like misaligned teams. I love that stuff.
Well, and even when you think about like cooking too, that kind of ties in.
It does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sparks type. We'll have to add that to the post notes here or description notes, whatever.
Yeah. We'll put the link. I'll send it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
there's an E, spark E type.
Okay. So why this one over other personality assessments? That there are many, as you know, so.
I don't know. I think because it focused on not like this. I believe the idea that we all have gifts that we haven't discovered yet, and we all have passions we haven't discovered yet. It's just, you figure it out as you go through different experiences. So with this, it felt like it doesn't require me to know my strengths like Clifton does, which I do love the Clifton strengths, but I kind of have to have tried something to know if I'm good at it or not. This is more broad of like, what is the broad kind of thing that brings you joy? Is it making something? Is it organizing? Is it entertaining people? And I think it's at a level where no matter who we are, if we're like in some remote village or we're the privileged white woman in Omaha, we have experiences that link to all of those things.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's fun.
Yeah. No, that's good. I'm always thinking about ways to help me know myself better. And then also as I'm working with people, get to know them better, because I'm not naturally wired to ask a lot of questions. I'm like, all right, here's the work we're here to do. So I'm not going to be as inquisitive about maybe what you did last weekend or things like that help you get to know a person a little bit more deeply. Or maybe that's pretty superficial, but you know what I mean.
But it's a good thing, yeah. And then you have that pattern where you can be like, ooh, Shauna's an entertainer and I have this chance to do something on stage. Like,
yes,
this might be a fit for her, even if it's a little bit different from what's on her resume.
Love
I
that.
like it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. You started talking about something, you like dropped a little hint.
Uh-oh.
You've been writing a book.
Yeah.
All right. Would love to hear. I want to know a couple things. Number one, like about the book, but also I want to like, can you share with us about the process of what writing the book was like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My favorite moment was I was at, I'll get to what the book is about and the process. I was at the Papillion Book Fest a couple weeks ago, and this woman came up intrigued, and she was reading the description on the back of the book. And she's like, wow, this is really interesting. How did you come up with these characters and these stories? And I was like, well, it's nonfiction. It's a memoir. And she was just like, oh, and because she had previously asked me how long it took. And I said, I've actually been working on it for over 7 years.
Oh, wow.
So I love that the story sounds interesting enough that she thought it was made up. So it's about basically my late 20s. Things on paper were great, lovely, kind husband, good career, money in the bank. And yet something happened that triggered some situations in my childhood, and I was bedbound by depression, spending days worried I was going to get fired. People were going to find out that I wasn't physically sick. I was mentally sick. What was wrong with me? And it's the journey of, the book is the journey of not only coming through that to feel joyful again, but really building the tools so that day to day, I do genuinely feel lighter and more joyful. And a lot of that is going back and revisiting when my mom died unexpectedly when I was 7. It's called I Killed Mom and Other Lies, a memoir of early loss.
That's powerful. And I know a lot of people can relate to that, just that heavy feeling of guilt for things that they're not responsible for, you know.
Absolutely. That's what was so, like, project was 100% worth it because of one friend I talked to whose dad died when he was young. We hadn't talked about it very much. He was an early reader of the book. We had an 80-minute conversation after that where he shared things that he hadn't really talked about before. And he loved the book. This is like a very stoic, sorry, but it's true, Matthew, very stoic product manager guy. And in his review, he writes how he teared up and read the last line over and over again. I'm just like, shit, this whole 7 years, 100% worth it.
Yeah.
And then I have people who like, my friend Cindy was an early reader. Her mom recently died in her 90s. So she was not sure how much she would connect, and totally did. I think it's just like you said, there's a lot of these experiences, loss in the way that we interpret it. We all share some of those, those core experiences.
Yeah. meets you where you are, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that. What about, okay, so what do you have? Can people buy the book? Like, where's it at? How do we get it? When
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's going on?
Okay, so as of this recording, it's not quite out. It probably will be out by the time that it comes. It's launching October 3rd, which happens to be my mom's birthday.
Oh.
So that was a nice little milestone I drew in the sand. It's self-published under my own imprint, Glad Panda Press, which you asked about the process. It's a whole thing I could talk forever about. It's like learning one thing at a time, solving a puzzle. I'm really grateful for this course called the Tiny Book course, which I took a couple years ago. And I used that to launch my first book, which is just like a small journal. And I just, to anybody who wants to write a book, I recommend writing a little one that you don't care quite as much about. Because then I knew how to talk to the bookworm. I knew how to talk to the library. I knew how many sales I could get without doing events. Like I just learned a lot from that. So yes, totally coachkubicek.com. You can read all about the book and buy it ebook and paperback. And I was just talking to your studio about whether I could do an audiobook at some point, because that would be baller. And then I have like some events coming up
here. So yes.
It looks really nice. I'm excited by the potential.
Yeah,
Good.
that's amazing. Well, thank you for being with us. This has been awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I do want to just add, I have a big party coming up Sunday, October 8th.
Okay.
And it's in Omaha. It's going to be like, of course, you can buy the book. There's going to be food. You can connect with new people, especially around bucket list items. What's on your bucket list? I'm calling it a bucket list celebration because this has been my number one goal. Like even back in high school, I was talking about it. So
congratulations.
This is just amazing. I'm so proud of it. And
Yeah.
then the coolest thing is I'm going to have physical items from the book. So like a therapist encouraged me to make a mom box with mementos. I'm going to have the Cabbage Patch doll she bought me the Christmas that she died, and the stuffed dog that I got at the funeral, and an excerpt from the book about why it's meaningful. So if you don't want to talk to people, you also can just hang out in the
look at stuff
in the museum.
Yeah.
Love it. Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for listening to Women in Nebraska.
Yay. Thank you.
Whoop whoop.